So what we're going to talk about today, we're talking with Dr. Dominick D'Anna, a good friend of mine for 17, 18 years almost, and Lewis, who started going to Dominick in the past year, I guess, about 6 months ago?
Yeah, roughly 6 months, yeah.
Cool. So we're just going to go through and see what he's experienced. And so we've got some questions. So first question is, how did you hear about Dominick? Obviously, I assume. So in other words, like what caused you after watching the videos where I'm talking with him or some of the, the other girls or people I've had in him over the years, what clicked for you? What was caused you to say, I got to go, okay, I'm going to go see this guy?
So before going to Dominick, I went to a regular chiropractor. So I did that for a number of years, regular chiropractor. So when I started reading your book, especially Mastering Yourself, where you go into details about the chiropractor, I was like, what is network chiropractor between chiropractor? What's the difference? So when I moved to Orlando here, I immediately went here because I wanted to know the difference. And it's night and day. So that's how I came here. Because of your videos and the book, it talks into details. So I wanted to know more. The curiosity got the better of me. And then I went to his office.
What was do you remember the specific moment where you're like, I got to go do this?
I already knew that I already like chiropractors. I really like the care they do. So I wanted to take it a step further because apparently network chiropractor is a step above a regular chiropractor. Because that's why I went there. And it's about the moment I said, as soon as I move here to Orlando, I'm going to go there. Set up the appointment. That's what I did. No questions asked, yeah.
Were there any benefits that you read in the book or saw in videos that you were like, oh, I want that, or I want to feel that, or I'm not getting that with my normal chiropractor?
Well, in the normal chiropractor, they basically crack you and you're out. In here, I didn't know exactly what I was going to get. I knew there was something like the consciousness exercises, some light touches like that. And how can that work? I want to know myself. I want to figure it out on my own. That's how I got there, yeah.
So what's from your perspective, having been doing this for over 20 years now, what's the difference between regular chiropractic and network care?
The objective is completely different, and the strategy or the application is totally different. So when you see a traditional chiropractor, they'll feel your spine and do their assessment and say, where is the vertebra misaligned? And that misaligned vertebra has an impact on the person's health. Say their organ system, their heart palpitations, their migraines, their headaches. Not to say that it's symptom motivated, but what they're looking for is where's the vertebra misaligned or subluxated, and how can they, with their chiropractic application, work to get the structure unsubluxated or back in balance and restore energy flow and ideal health or biomechanical function to that part of the spine and body, right? So that's more of a traditional chiropractic application. My objectives, my strategies are completely different. I share with clients, I don't care where the vertebra is. I want to know, is it soft? Is it flexible? Is it freely moving? Are you connected to it? Because I'm aware that the positioning of the vertebra is totally consistent with the state that the person is in. And if I take that vertebra that's misaligned and I crack it back in place or adjust it back in place, but the person doesn't have awareness or connection to that vertebra and the consciousness and the emotions that come with it, there's minimal benefits from an emotional standpoint or a state standpoint. So to make it simple, if your structure is misaligned and someone adjusts it back in balance, but there's no connection, the self-reported benefits are minimal as compared to someone who has amazing body awareness through the consciousness exercises is a great way to do that. And then we work to get the tension pattern to unwind so the structure changes not because we're forcing the structure, but instead we're helping the person experience the tension. So what I often share with people that have been under chiropractic care is I always share with them, it's not really the bone that you want moved. It's all the stuck energy and tension behind it. And if I could do the methods that we do in network care to help you re-experience the energy, to re-experience the trauma that you've internalized, to reconnect to that stuck energy and tension, your body, you experience it and dissipate it. But as a result of that, a consequence of that is not only are you resolving your wounds that you've internalized, so you feel more liberated, you feel lighter, you're breathing easier, you feel more relaxed, your emotion is different, your perspective is different. But another outcome is your structure has changed. So from a network standpoint, the structure is an additional benefit, right? When you release the tension, chiropractic is the primary objective. But I've had people come in the office that have had years of chiropractic care, and you take an X-ray, everything looks amazing. They said, yeah, everything's where it's supposed to be. The structural objective was achieved with chiropractic care. They did a great job for me, but I still have headaches, and I still have migraines, and I still have anxiety. So what's being missed? I said, yeah, you got great structural work, but no one helped you connect to the energy or the emotion or the wound, the trauma that you internalized. So that's where network care shines.
Mm-hmm. And I actually want to add to that, and that's actually very accurate. When I went to the regular chiropractor, especially, Dominic mostly work on the neck area, around this area. When you go to a chiropractor, they basically crack your neck. They take your neck and they crack it like crack, crack, and it hurts a little. With Dominic, no, it doesn't hurt at all. But it's different because when you are in the regular chiropractor, they crack it and you feel like, okay, it feels good, but after a couple of days, you start feeling the same pain that you had before. It comes back again. So with him, it's just like he starts touching in a way I still don't understand how you do it. But he touches something and does something, and then you combine it with the breathing exercises, and you start to feel better, a lot better. And it is very important that the difference between the regular chiropractor and this one is that it's mostly the healing that you do yourself, what you do at home, the breathing exercises and stuff. That's very important to be able to get the full benefits of this. And if you skip that part, you won't see any difference. So that's something that I noticed with that.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Louis. I share with our clients all the time that if you're not, that if a client is not changing their consciousness, never mind the strategy, never mind the application, right? The chiropractor, the physical therapy, the counselor, the therapist. If the person has not changed their consciousness, they really haven't changed anything.
So what do you mean by changing their consciousness?
So when I say consciousness, what that really means is as you go through life, how do you view the world and what is the meaning you give it? So I always oftentimes refer to, I saw a car accident right down the street actually from where we're at. There's a four-way light there, and a guy had I think it was like a PT Cruiser. And a woman behind him had a classic VW. They look like a shoebox. You know, they used to do the commercials back in the day where you can put a car on top of these Volvos. You know, like one of those. And a truck behind the Volvo didn't stop for the light. Plowed into the back of the Volvo. The Volvo hit this PT Cruiser. So I'm sitting there diagonal to them at the light. I watched the whole thing. The lady gets out of that old Volvo and is furious. She's just screaming at the truck and how it damaged her Volvo. It's a classic car. Nothing happened to it. This thing's like a tank, right? The only thing that happened to it was the rear bumper fell off because it was all rusted through. I saw it. There was rust all over the ground where they hit it. The guy in the front with the PT Cruiser was so happy. I said, "You're happy? You got rear-ended. What are you happy about?" He says, "Oh my God, I hated this car. This car was a nightmare. Now I can get rid of this thing. I can get a check from the insurance and go get something else. This thing was such a piece," right? So here you have two people in a car accident. One is furious, unbelievable amount of tension, unbelievable stress hormones, muscles, tendon, everything tight. The guy who was in the front, who got hit just as, not only from the truck, but from the Volvo hitting it as well, was actually euphoric. So it
was a good day for him.
It was a good day for him. He was ecstatic. Now, I promise you, if we were to do a stress scan and a muscle tension scan, range of motion, all these different tests, right, physiological tests, even hormone tests, I promise you that even though they're both in the same circumstance, their physiology, their body chemistry, their hormones, everything, they're basically experiencing a different scenario. One of them is liberated. The other one feels victimized, right? So does your body do something different with that energy? Does it do something different with that tension because you gave it a different meaning? I say, heck yeah.
Yeah, so, life only has or things that happen, your circumstances, it only has the meaning that you give it.
Nothing has a meaning except for the meaning we give it. So what I'm saying is your consciousness and your tension patterns, which is where we're going with this, are totally consistent. And as I work with a client that comes in, like Luis, I want to see where is the tension in your body, because I know that if tension consistently builds in a certain area, that's consistent with the person having a specific consciousness. and actually locked into it, the more tension the person has, the more structural rigidity they have, the more they're stuck in that consciousness. So what I'm saying is you go through life and you give everything the same meaning. So for example, if you have an anxiety pattern, everything that you experience in life is an opportunity to get anxious. You go to a kid's birthday party, I get anxious. You go to see Santa, anxiety. You go to an interview, anxiety. So basically how they show up to an interview is the same way they show up to a kid's birthday party. What in the world do they have to be anxious about? The only thing they got to be anxious about is when are they bringing out the cake and ice cream? Like that's the only concern at a kid's birthday party, you know? But they're anxious. So what I'm saying is there's a time and a place for anxiety, but if you go through life and you're stuck in that gear, so to speak, you're stuck in that tension pattern, you're stuck in that consciousness. And the gift that Network Care brings to the table is we know how to read what pattern, what consciousness are you stuck in that's basically hijacked your life, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And how can we work with you to liberate you and free you of that stuck perspective, that stuck hormones that go with it, that stuck attitude, that stuck emotion. And would you say, Louis, that as a result of coming into the office that you've experienced that?
That's definitely true. However, when you do the consciousness exercise, one thing that I do different from anyone else, you have to take certain words. But in my case, I curse in Spanish because it helps me like free the energy a lot more in my own language. So that's very helpful. So when I do my consciousness exercises.
Isn't it interesting how if you say the consciousness exercises, the statements we have you say, and you do them in English, they don't do anything?
No.
You have to do it in your native language.
In your native language so you can get it out. Like, although I'm fully bilingual, but still, it's like your own language. It's pretty interesting.
Do you normally think and dream in Spanish then?
That's a good question. For a date, that's a great date question.
No extra charge for that.
Yeah, see? No, but yeah, it depends. Yeah, so with most things Spanish, yeah.
What we found in the office is that the language that was used in the household up till about the age of 4 or 5, that's how the person is wired. So making the statements or saying the statements in the language is totally different than if they say it in a language that they learn.
That's true.
After that.
That's true. When I asked from what was Dominick saying that I work in the banking industry, so I had to deal with a lot of angry customers. And since I'm doing Dominick's treatment, I actually see the difference between me and other people. See, other people, when you deal with their finances, you see they're stressed out for everything, for every single thing, and they cannot move me. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, I'm always in my center all the time. Peaceful, calm. I wasn't able to do that before doing this. Because it gives you you better understand your own energies, and it's really neat, especially when you're dealing with nasty customers all day.
So it helped you remain calmer then.
Mm-hmm. They cannot move me, and some people just hate their lives and taking upon you. You're in front of the
everybody projects what's inside.
Exactly.
Dr. Wayne Dyer had a great analogy that he used. He says, what happens when you squeeze an orange? What comes out? Orange juice. Why? Because it's an orange. So when life squeezes you, what comes out? Calmness, unperturbableness, or getting angry and pissed off, upset, sad, anxiety like the accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear more about that. So what was different with you before? So if a customer was coming into the bank and they were upset, how would you previously show up?
So basically, I remain quiet because in the customer service thing in the bank, they told you the customer's always right. You have to keep them in check. But now I just remain still and I try to de-escalate the situation because they are in this level and I take them down little by little until they go to my peaceful state. I wasn't able to do that before. I remained quiet before, like tense. I could feel it in my neck. I don't know why, like tense neck. So this person is gonna do something to me. They wouldn't, but still. But right now they're having a bad day. They're not having having frustrations, probably relationship problems in their lives, and if I can help them peacefully calm down, I can do that. Yeah.
So would you say that as a result of coming in for care, getting your body de-stressed or decreasing the stress and tension in your body, that you're able to actually serve your customers better?
Oh, yeah.
You show up better. Even if they are upset, you can talk them off the wall, so to speak,
Definitely.
better than you ever could have before.
All the time.
Without being triggered.
Nope.
So your ability to be unperturbable has significantly increased.
Yep, and that also
Beautiful.
works with my customer, my own girlfriend. She gets perturbed sometimes, so I know always she's up there, and I take it little by little, down by down, to a relaxed state.
Yeah, women take the little things and they go, ah. It's
know.
our job to go, it's not a big deal.
I take her down. Yeah.
Like the guy who was supposed to be here, but whose woman hijacked him.
Well, I'm making an
We had
assumption.
one more person that was coming.
I'm making an assumption. I don't know exactly what happened, but whatever. Either way, he's not here.
He put his balls in a box and gave them away. That's right.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
because,
give him the benefit of the doubt.
listen, with my girlfriend, she has some situations that in life brings you situations, but none of them perturb me at all. At all. I just keep center all the time. All the time. It gives you peace. It gives you like calmness in your life and this chaotic world. So it's good. I recommend it to everyone to do the Network Chiropractic. I really care, yeah.
Yeah,
I really do.
You know, Lewis, says I'm hearing you say that, it's reminding me of all the stuff that was going on in my life that pushed me into network care, really, because all the things that I wanted to change. I was getting adjusted. I was doing physical therapy. I was exercising. My diet was dialed in, but I was perturbable. I was reactive. I was having relationship issues. And one of the things that I have the most value for is quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like some people invest in the car, they want the house, they want the shoes, they want all this other stuff. But for me, having that center, having that inner power, being more emotionally intelligent, being able to show up more in my masculine, not just because I saw a counselor and they said, okay, when she says this is how you need to show up. Because for me, that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you do say the right things, if you're gritting your teeth while you do it, the woman knows because they feel everything.
Yeah.
And then they rip into you more. So the part that I have value for with network care and I'm really excited to provide for other people is I help them reach that place where they have such a strong center that they could be peaceful.
Yep.
And not only are they better able to serve themselves, but everyone around them, at home, at the workplace, for their kids, all of it.
Their families,
It's beautiful to see that. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it's really good. And with one problem, all you need to do is read your book, which I did a bunch of times. So that's how I keep centering some of the things for relationships and stuff.
Yeah, remaining centered is masculinity. The unperturbable, the rock, the mountain, nothing bothers you.
Even, one thing though, even my girlfriend has a little dog, and he actually respects me more than her because I'm always centered. He knows I'm the leader. He knows I'm the alpha. It's really funny, actually.
It's fun when I go over to my friends' houses. Their dogs, even though they're big dogs, they'll come and sit right next to me.
That happens to me too. Because
and I always break their balls about it. It's like the dog knows who the alpha is. Bro.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, the leader doesn't have to say he's the leader. You just show up as the leader and everybody falls in line.
Exactly. This is something that you can use. So I didn't start it this way, of course. I actually was insanely depressed before. I went to therapy. I was suicidal in one moment in my life. I actually attempted suicide one time. Had to go to psychologist. Had to get like a bunch of stuff. And so after a lot of work, it takes a lot of work. It's not easy, but you can make it happen. But it takes considerable amount of work because you either have two options. You either do it or go complain about your life. I decided to do it. Just to push forward. I took action. I didn't complain.
Which is also masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Men take action.
Yep. And it's pretty good because I previously lived in Massachusetts before in Boston, and I wanted to move to Florida because I hated the cold. Hated the cold with all my heart and soul. So I moved to Florida just because of me, and my girlfriend followed me here. She actually followed me. She moved with me just because I wanted to be here. Yeah.
Nice.
She followed daddy.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good, pretty interesting. But as soon as I moved here, I moved around July and August. I started the treatment with Dominick. Beginning of August, and when the treatment started, it's pretty good because he gives you an X-ray, right? He gives you an X-ray, and when he told me what was happening, I thought, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
So when we took the X-ray and we went over the scan with you, which we did right up front as soon as you started with us, I shared with you what showed up. Is that right? And how it corresponded to what was going on with your health, what was going on with your emotions, what was going on with what states you were showing up in, what challenges you likely have. So when I did that evaluation with you, how accurate was it?
It was 100% accurate. It was so accurate that it's scary. It's accurate when Dominick explained the things that you have. It is all in the neck. I don't know. Still don't understand why, but the way my neck was, and is the way it was structured. It says you're getting this and this and this, and it's because of this C1 or something. So we're gonna work on this, and you're gonna be starting feeling better, and it's actually working. So I'm very excited to keep going into the treatments every month.
So as a result of the work that we're doing, the consciousness exercises, and the body application that I do to your spine and your body, you're noticing a difference with your emotions.
Oh yeah, definitely. The most important thing that I feel like right now is I'm always centered, always peaceful at all times. Yeah. So and whenever I get like overly emotional or something, I can control it because I do the breathing exercises, the consciousness exercises. I just select one. Sometimes I go to the video playlist that you have, go to one of them and do it. So because it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, you're talking about the consciousness exercise on my YouTube channel?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a playlist on the YouTube channel, the consciousness exercise 1 through 12. So you can hit play, put them on your big screen TV or whatever, and lay in your living room floor and just follow along with Gracie and Dominic as they demonstrate it.
Yep.
You've had a bunch of people come in since we published those that said they watched them, did them, and they felt changes in their body, and that motivated them to come in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's been since we put the videos up just a few months ago, we've definitely had an influx of clients coming in from your videos and the website there, saying how they put their hand on an area. Just an email I got recently, a gentleman responded that he did what I said, and I put my hand at the top of my neck, that area that's associated with fear that you talked about, and it was so tight and sore in there, and I breathed into it, and once he felt breath and movement in there, which is just maybe a half a minute or a minute of doing it, he said he had all this emotion come up and just had a total meltdown. And then afterwards, he said his neck felt looser, his shoulders dropped. He just felt so much more peaceful. Like it was as if he connected to something more and was able to liberate it. And that's really what network care is all about. We're not trying to fix you. We're not trying to correct anything. We're trying to say the person inside, your natural state is ease. Your natural state is leadership. Your natural state is confident. Your natural state is showing up in your uniqueness. Anxiety, fear, rage, victim, anger, and agitation, those are not natural states to be in all day, every day. That's the wounded masculine. And really what network care is about helping the person reconnect, because you can only resolve something that you've experienced. If you don't experience something fully, you're not going to release yourself of it. So everything that we do, I share with clients, is not about making you feel better. It's about making you better feel so that you can experience it fully, so you can be liberated of it. So that's my disclaimer. When you do the consciousness exercises, and you said, "Hey, I put my hand in this area and breathed into it. Now it's more sore." You're welcome. That means now you're feeling what was there all along. And I know you can get massaged and you can crack it and you can stretch it and you can do all that stuff. But my experience has been it keeps coming back, right? With massage. Massage feels great. You're crazy if you don't like a massage. But an hour or two later, my body was in the same place. So for me, the reason why I was really passionate about network care was not only the changes you see with people, but the changes that I saw within myself, and that I hear every day from people like Luis and how it's changed their life. Because at the end of the day, as I mentioned before, if you're not changing your consciousness, you haven't changed anything. And you can definitely willpower, right? Like Tony Robbins is all about willpower, get fired up and push through. I get that, but the vast majority of us, that willpower is not sustainable. And what's under there will reveal its head again, and before you know it, you're doing the same old thing you always did. So network care, we liberate people from that old pattern, so it becomes effortless.